Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background, and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy: How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is about the romantic compatibility between ENFPs and ENFPs. I think that most people have asked themselves the question, who's the best match romantic with another person based on certain characteristics? And I believe that MBTI personality types is a good start because it looks at brain types, preferences, strengths, and weaknesses, and that can guide us in terms of identifying the best long-term romantic partner. So let's look at what ENFPs and ENFPs have in common. Obviously, they're both the same personality type, so obviously they have a lot in common. These are people obviously who are intuitive feelers, so they are right brain dominant, they come from the heart, they're empathetic, they're warm, they put emphasis on their relationships, so they are people oriented, and also these are people who will put more emphasis on their romantic relationships. The other aspect, obviously, they are both perceivers. So, in terms of their organizational style, these are people who like to change in the last minute. They feel energized by not being in a very structured environment. So, they like the spontaneity of having leeway when it comes to organizing their lives. Since ENFPs are intuitive feelers, in terms of their ideal mate, is the soulmate type. So these are people who are going to be looking for the one. They're not looking for a helpmate or mind mate like other personality types. And they will really want to bond with that person, and they're looking for a long-term stable relationship. Now, when it comes to their function stack, is that ENFPs have extroverted intuition as their first function. It has to do with idea generation. So these are people who are going to be very sort of creative that way. They are going to be the type of people who like to play with ideas. They're good at brainstorming, and it has to do with the abstract world. So they are different from the ESFPs because the ESFPs are more like practical, whereas the ENFPs, they're really about just playing with the abstract thought, and it has to do with the future. Now, when it comes to the challenges that this personality type will face, is that I would say that because they have a spontaneous way of organizing their lives, they might need help from some outside source to actually organize their lives. So they're not the type of people who are really good when it comes to planning, following through. So they might, in a sense, not help each other because their weakness is in both partners. This is a personality who's most likely will have issues with their finances because they're the type of people who don't like being really meticulous. They're not the type of people who are going to be looking at paying the bills on time, and they're probably are not really enthusiastic about doing their income tax return. So these are people who can get into trouble. So they may need an accountant, bookkeeper, someone to keep them on track, because obviously they are basically exaggerating this trait because they are together. So one is not basically keeping the other one in check when it comes to the practicality and the finance of their household. Besides these challenges, this couple is going to be quite happy because obviously, they have a lot of common. If people have watched my other videos, I advocate that like attract like. So if you have two individuals who are the same personality types, in other words, the same brain type, they see the world very similarly. They won't have to argue about another thing because they will understand where the person comes from. So obviously the ENFPs, as I said, these are both into feelers. They focus on their relationships, but specifically their romantic relationship. They are romantics. They are warm. People who are right brain dominant, like into feelers, tend to fare well in their relationships. ENFPs tend to be fun and creative because they have extroverted intuition as their first function, so they're good at brainstorming, so they will keep each other quite entertained. And also, if you look at their function type, they have extroverted thinking as their third function. So they're rather logical, and they probably will going to spend quite a bit of time together. So in the sense that although they're officially extroverts, but as I mentioned in my other videos, is that it has to do with the person's energy. So if a person has higher energy than most people, they will behave like introvert, although they are officially extrovert, and that happens very much for intuitives, but specifically for intuitive feelers. So overall, I would think that they're going to really enjoy each other's company. It's going to be a pretty good and healthy relationship, although they will face probably some issues in terms of being able to organize their lives, being maybe more, let's say, more structured, be able to make sure that they take care of their finances. So they might have to outsource certain aspects of their lives. But I think generally speaking, they're going to be quite happy in their relationship. So let me know if you agree or disagree with this romantic compatibility by commenting below. If you like this video, if you learned something, please click on the like button. Remember to click on the notification bell to be notified of other videos I'm going to be making. Subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.